White Walker-perpetuated offenses are considered especially heinous. In Westeros, 4 dedicated friends investigate and discuss these vicious episodes as members of an elite squad known as A Podcast Has No Name.
I'm Afro.
I'm Ambush.
I am Castro.
I'm Morgan. And we are A Podcast Has No Name.
No name.
Oh, podcast has no name. I hope everyone is paying attention to how quickly he responds to Podcast Has No Name, but he is always
I did not
30 seconds late to say his own name. To say his own name.
I did it very well this time. I was right in sync. If you go back, when you listen back, Engineer Boy, you'll hear that I was right in rhythmic tone. Okay? Please.
Okay.
He's always late.
Right.
My ass.
I just want to
keep in mind, listeners, that Am sounds fabulous on these podcasts because he edits them. He takes out a lot of my glorious points where I sound very intelligent and pontificating, and he somehow rewires them to sound like him. His hearty laughter always has like echo or reverb on it. I don't know what's going on, listeners, but I want y'all to keep an ear out for just that.
Just know,
tonight's episode.
I'm giving you listeners a version of Castro that you can love, because there are some things he definitely had to omit. Problematic Castro.
Tonight's episode is called Baylor. Game of Thrones. Kick it.
Kick it. Afro, did you have something to say?
No. Third time's the charm.
I mean, you've been trying.
Start this episode out by shouting out this lady. Her name is Deborah. Her daughter's name is Janina. They found my wallet at a local gas station and returned it to me with everything in it, and that is just amazing. So
unbelievable.
That's actually incredible. Which
in
not
South America, that is
you
incredible.
Leaving your wallet. That surprises me not in the least. You're flipping around this goddamn planet at light speed. You don't want to slow down for the common man.
First of all, I want to tell you that Mercury went into retrograde, all right? So that part is not my fault. Second of all, she found my wallet in a plant that was beside the gas pump, and it fell out of my pocket. Also, third, I have never lost my wallet out in the world. I've only misplaced it indoors. So
you just
that
lost
never happened.
So it just happened. Your world's colliding. It just happened. You did just do it.
Before then, it never happened. It was the first time ever.
Were you in El Segundo or?
I was in Oakland. Not El Segundo. But I did. I lost my wallet in Oakland. And it was a shady-ass gas station, too. And
every gas station is shady.
Yeah.
Especially outdoors.
Well, some are shadier than others, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So shout out to Deborah and what's her daughter's name?
Janina.
Y'all call MVPs.
Janina called all of my credit card companies trying to get my phone number, and then she called Oakland Library and tricked them into giving them my phone number.
I would have just took the cash and
wow,
in the mailbox.
She went the extra mile. She didn't just throw it in the mailbox?
In the mailbox?
She went to work, yo. This happened yesterday, and she called me today.
Oh, wow.
Well, how much cash?
Like, I will not have that.
No, I want to know that. I want to know her morality meter. How much cash
did you tip her?
Okay, I did not tip her. There was no cash in the wallet, and I'd already canceled all of my cards. I was like, I'm going to go buy this lady some flowers. I didn't have no means to do that.
No.
Oh, man.
Everything was canceled.
I know. So, yeah.
But that's
cool. But I don't have to get a new driver's license. I don't have to go through that process. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's true. But wait, you got a new bank card and all that stuff? You got a new bank card issued and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, so everything will be here in 7 to 10 business days. So if you guys don't see a Christmas gift, that's why, because I ain't have my card. So.
No, I just went through my card, and it is annoying. That was 7 to 10 wait, and then also, I didn't realize they send you the card without any. The bank's not on the card, on the envelope for the card. So I think I
no,
the first
no. Oh, so you just didn't open the shit?
No, I didn't even know it was in there, and I was like, wait a minute. And I'll throw it back, so forget it. Just order me another one. Like, I don't even know where that, Like, I get mail and I get junk mail, and some things I don't open or I don't look through. And then, it's like very nondescript. It just has a P.O. box on it. And then if you don't feel the card in there, you could just disregard it as like, maybe it's a bill or a bill collector looking for me. I don't want to open it. Then that means I admit to the debt. So I just leave a lot of it.
That's not exactly how that works, but fine.
Yeah, well, it's not like you're getting served a subpoena or anything. So.
Well, until the feds come knocking, I think everything's okay. So.
Yeah.
Right until that moment. But, maybe I could have took some preventive measures and paid some things off. But, every day I come home and ain't no cop waiting out front for me. It's a good day.
You're doing it right.
I did something. All right. Game on, don't kick it!
All right. So, season 1, episode 9, Baylor. Big rewatch. And we start with Varys visiting Ned in the dungeons, and Ned is still hard to breathe and no water and looks a mess. And Varys comes down and is like, hey, how you doing? So I seen your daughter. She came to plead for your life. And Ned's like, oh, I bet you laughed at her just like everyone else. And he's like, how dare you, sir? I wouldn't do that. My role is totally different than that. I am to be sly and without scruples. And they have this really great back and forth exchange where Varys is basically saying, fuck all of the things that matter to you right now and think of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is we have to do different things for the realm. So Ned's like, what do you want? And he's like, I want peace. So I want you to cop to the treason. Just admit it. Who cares if it happened or not? Just do it. Bend the fucking knee to the psychopath that we don't know, I guess. We don't know how terrible he is, but bend your knee. Tell your son to fucking lay his sword down and bend his knee too. And proclaim that Joffrey is the one true king. Then Cersi will likely recognize that it's better to have you alive and away than dead. So she'll probably let you live out the rest of your life at the Wall. Take the black, live with your brother and your bastard, and all will be well. And Ned's like, the fuck you thought? I don't care to live that bad. Like, I've been ready to die. I don't want to, I'm not doing any of that bullshit. And he's like, well, what about your daughters? Are their lives precious at all? I had so many thoughts about this whole exchange. Somebody finally told Ned, your honor means nothing here. Let me tell you what matters. And he, in that moment, at least was like, oh, well, none of that makes sense, so I'll just die. Anybody else?
So I thought it was interesting that there was a moment where Ned was like, look, you grew up around actors, I grew up around soldiers, and, even if I wanted to, I couldn't act like I like these people and, like, lie. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do this game that you're, like, pretending to want me to do. Like, I'm not into that. Varys was also telling a story, and there was a minute where Ned was like, look, fuck your stories, fuck your your fucking antidotes. What the fuck do you actually want? And so, yeah, it was Varys. He made Varys get down to the nitty-gritty of, like, what I want is for you to think about this and fuck all of that bullshit that you're talking about, this honor and this, that, and the third, and, like, think about what you got to do for your family. And so, yeah, it was about time that somebody said that shit then.
Yeah, and it did look like it kind of sunk in at the end. It was like, because, I mean, that was, what is your answer to that? What about your daughters? What about your pretty little girls? What now?
Right.
You can't spit honor back out and be like, well, they'll understand. No, man, you're a terrible father. Like, get your shit together, dude. Yeah, it looked like it was starting to get rough.
Mm-hmm.
But good God. I don't remember, I didn't remember any of that conversation. I didn't remember there even being an offer on the table for Ned.
No.
As raw as that deal was. But, yeah, I didn't remember any of that. God bless the rewatch. Seriously.
It was also funny in the beginning of that conversation when Ned was like, are you here to let me out? And Varys was like, no, I mean, I could, but nah, like, didn't I tell you I'm not a hero? Like, haven't we talked about this before?
So
like,
is that where Arya gets the hard-headedness from? Like, well, you're not listening.
Right.
She had no choice.
Also,
she had no choice. Look at her mama. She had no choice.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, true. Also, I don't know what Varys would expect. He didn't leave anything for Ned to read to remind him of how his code of conduct. So it's not like the light came on and Ned looked down and was like, okay, Varys is not for the fuck shit. Okay, so I know not to ask him to free me. This is not written down anywhere. He's gonna ask him every single time.
How am I supposed to know?
Well, I thought there was a level of sarcasm in him asking, will you free me? But
yeah,
it's interesting to see that the daughters specifically, which we notice now, as opposed to the sons, are actually the best representation of Ned. It's like his honor split into two ways. So you got Arya with her hard-headedness and strong-willedness, but you also got Sansa who subconsciously always acts with that honor, but also will bend over backwards and maybe subjugate herself to certain. Like, I feel that's the difference in Sansa. She's willing to just go with it. She's believing that begging and pleading and all that stuff will work, anything to save her father. So, all that stuff is futile in the end. But his honor really infects the family. And then it's manifested differently in Robb and Catelyn, who don't act like Ned at all. Very much. They don't act like him at all, but I never thought Robb's demise came about because of honor. I thought he had other issues going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was the exact opposite for Robb.
Yeah. Yeah. Robb is kind of weird to me just because of why and what he died for. It's really kind of elusive. I mean, no, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say, like, love is not a reason, whatever. But the way it went about it was very serpentine. But anyway, sorry. Back to the girl. All I was saying was you see that Ned's lineage takes after him but in different ways. But this honor thing, which we think should be righteous in a show like this, that should, the good will triumph over evil, and they were honorable, is not necessarily the case in these seven kingdoms.
Yeah. There's also this recurring thing with Varys where he's just like, it's about the realm. Like, everybody is over and over again. So this time, like, he screams it in a way that I was really like, okay, that is really, like, what you're about. All right.
You mean it
but
this
doesn't
time.
he kind of give that up? He means it in this early part of the I feel like he lets go of those reins. It doesn't seem like that. I mean, maybe coincidentally when, Tyrion has to go. But you notice what I'm saying? He doesn't scream. He's not as passionate as talking about it like he is right now. And maybe that's just because he's talking with Ned in the dungeon,
Possible.
Possible.
Yeah, everyone else gets it but Ned, so you got to keep pounding into his head. You ask me the same question, I'm going to start yelling the answers at you.
Write it down. So then we've got Theon shooting some ravens down.
Yeah, so anyway, yes, Theon stealing mail. Okay, this is a federal offense. And I'm just like, all right, that's actually what's going on. Cool. So what are they actually looking for? What's the message that they're looking for? The one coming to Walder Frey to tell him that what's going on.
No, they're looking to see if Walder Frey. They're looking to see if Walder Frey
communicating with the Lannisters. Yeah, and then
wait,
what was clever? I thought.
Say that again.
Yeah, they're looking for communication from Walder Frey and the twins out
to the
Lannisters.
Okay, and not coming in. Okay.
Right, and then also Theon said, they read the first message and it didn't seem like it was anything, but that could be code, which we come later to know they do speak in code. So.
Right. So, yes, he did say that. So, yeah, they don't feel like they're finding the message that they're looking for. And so they're pretty much like drawing straws over who should go talk to him. And it's just interesting to me that everybody is so fucking woke about Walder. Like, this is the second or third conversation we've heard where Kat is like, look, she describes his character. She talks about, like, his approach. And everything she's saying, it's, like, in retrospect now, it seems like foreshadowing, even though I missed it then. But it also seems like, why did y'all ever trust him, I know at this point they needed him for this thing.
Yeah.
But
I also think Kat has the longest history with him because, this is where our geography comes into play. So the twins is in that crucial spot. It helps you cross that narrow path and get to the other side of the Riverlands. And so because it's in the Riverlands or near the Riverlands, Kat and the Tullys have had the most interaction. Hence he asked, I'm not jumping ahead, but he asked why your father didn't come to my last 3 weddings. So they probably have some relationship more so than other, other lords because of proximity and stuff. So they probably had dealings a lot. It just seems like she's very knowledgeable of him because she's been dealing with him. Like she said, he's known me since I was a kid. So, they've probably been talking shit about him since then. Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand them needing him for geographical purposes and for, the needing to cross there, but I guess I'm thinking a little bit ahead as to, like, how we end up with the demise of all of them motherfuckers, and it's just like, why do we trust him this much? Just kind of like, science. But, obviously this is, like, hindsight and knowing what happens in the future. So.
No, but that's astute because I think the trust was built on tradition. Like, remember when they would see Walder, they always do the tradition of the salt, and he'd kiss her hand. It seems like it was based on tradition, and, supposedly you're my bannerman, or whatever that means.
But, I mean, he's very clear about that, too. He's like, I said some words. I did, like, the fuck. Like,
yeah.
So.
I think they made a point to. I think they made a point to show us the traditions that he's supposed to be respecting because he's the only one that doesn't respect them. So I'm pretty sure every time, Rob and Kat come across any of the other bannermen, they go through the traditions. But there's no need to show that because these guys are respectful dudes for the most part.
And Walder has a point
to just be.
he has a point. He says, I made an oath to the king too, to the crown, I guess. You know what I'm saying, in terms of like Joffrey's king now. I'm jumping ahead, but that's he's saying both.
Let's get there because it's pretty much done. So Kat decides that she'll go because she's like, he wouldn't hurt me. He's known me forever. Blah blah blah. And there was also a moment in there where Rob is like, look, I can't have other people doing my bidding for me. I need to go. He said something like, what would my dad do? And no one would respect me if I don't, So you can see, again, that Rob is just trying to, work through his manhood, daddy issues, coming into power, leadership, all of that shit at once. And so Kat decides to head in to visit Walter.
Right. So she walks in, and it's funny because I don't remember any of the Freys being as well dressed as they were in this scene. I was like, y'all have complete outfits on, and y'all got y'all team colors, and everybody looks somewhat clean, and no one looks wet and dirty.
Colors?
This is amazing.
Gray, and
everybody was the green. Green with the
green,
the dirt.
Like a forest green, the dirt.
Forest green.
Shit on shit.
Soiled dirt.
Like even his son. I was like, this guy, there are people here that look like they're actually part of a court, a Lord's court here. I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Right.
I feel like we've never seen this. So, of course, the first thing you notice is how many young women are in the room. And you're immediately reminded of what this guy does with his time. It's just terrible. And his son tries to maintain some level of decency and respect and honor, and immediately he starts going at his son. Kat asks if he can clear the room, and on the way of as he's clearing the room, I think it was like the one last girl that was sitting on his lap. It's hard for me to refer to them as his wife, but it's his wife.
That's
He's 15. Yeah. And when he said something, the way he said she's so young and full of honey, and all the honey is for me. He was like, Jesus.
Yes.
It's very disgusting. Absolutely. Very disgusting. Very disgusting. Oh, wait. I skipped over the hand lick. I'm sorry. That definitely happened earlier before everyone left the room. I felt like you were supposed to kiss the hand, right? That was the lick could not have been the tradition.
Well, licking. I took it more as exaggerated kiss, like, all right, y'all happy now, like that type of thing.
It looked like he licked her and then did that. Is what it looked like.
Yeah, it was like, oh goodness.
It's like slob, lick, kiss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Violated.
Fully.
Right. So then he goes on that, they're having this for him to ask her, what do you want? Like, bruh, there's only one thing anyone is ever going to come to you for, and it's to get across the bridge. That's it. That's it. It's not
and
like,
you know that.
Like, you have it's not like you have a great fishing community, and we want to, get better prices on the salmon you have here. No, the only thing anyone ever wants to do is cross. What can I help you with? Come on. Like, you work in a tire shop. You sell tires. What can I help you with? I want to buy tires. Like, what are you talking about? It's just so stupid. All the pleasantries, just cut straight to it. You know what they're here for. Are you going to let them pass or not? And then he's talking all reckless. I should just stall you out till the Lannisters get here. Well, damn. So going to your point, Afro, it really does show, even though he ends up agreeing, like, his trust is on a very thin thread. Like, why would you even say that? And now, Kat has to kind of talk him back away from that. You're sitting here telling me I could betray you. What's to stop me from betraying you? Yeah, I said a couple of words. I said words. My honor is to the king and to the Lord. So he's putting it out there that he's very wishy-washy. And I just, I wouldn't have trusted him. Of course, hindsight's 20/20. But I felt like, isn't there a way? And Castro, you can probably answer this better than anyone. there's no way to just overtake the castle. There's no way to just, like, there's 20,000 men out here. Why are we going to deal with this crap?
It's the same thing as, like, the Veil. So when you're able to bottleneck, and they have to travel on a shorter period or a shorter space, the 20,000 men shrinks to like 1,000 at a time. And then also the way the twins are, they have the advantage because they have upper ground, so they just stand in their turrets at the top and just fire at you and get in your own way. You know what I'm saying? Now, do you run into the water and fall in? You know, it's a river, so there's you know. But it's the same thing with the when they go to Essos and they go underneath the giant statue, they put people inside of his legs to fire at you as you coming in there. So if you have higher ground and you're able to bottleneck it, you can defeat any force. So, you know, Theon is going in about, you know, in the earlier scene, we could take them. There's no way they could stop us, but that's not necessarily true. And it would be a long siege. And the main thing that Great John said was we don't have the time, which is true. So eventually you're losing some men because of the bottleneck, but you'll overwhelm them because you do have 20,000 men. But do you have time to wait them out and do this siege? Now this takes a week, 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Tywin is moving around and doing what he wants to do instead of you quickly crossing the bridge. Look how quick this happened. Oh, I agree. I'll take your daughter. Now you're through. Instead of losing men and all of that other stuff.
All right, yeah. Good point. Way to talk it out.
Oh, yeah, I agree that they had no choice but to cross. It comes later for me where it's just like, he's clearly, like, he said so many things in that scene. Like, first of all, your family pissed on me so many times. You haven't come to any of my last few weddings to my kids. You know, your parents didn't let any of you or your siblings marry into my family. What else did he say? He called them rebels. He was like, yeah, I said some words that you call an oath, but I also said some words to the king. And so, like, you know, at this point, y'all are fucking rebels out here. And I was like, well, damn, you know, like, I mean, they are to a degree, but you're still supposed to have a certain amount of allegiance to them, and he don't respect that at all. He thinks that his allegiance is tied to something that they're supposed to do for him as well. He's like one of them people who feels like he's higher up than he is, or he's entitled in some ways, and he's just like, you know, yeah, I gave y'all an oath or something like that, but, like, y'all was still supposed to marry my kids and supposed to do, you know, like, he's got all these other things that he ties that to, so he don't really fuck with them.
Nah.
And then at the end, he's like, Lannisters, Baratheons, Tullys, whatever, what's the difference? I was like, well, damn, okay.
Tell me how you really feel, motherfucker. Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. So that scene ends, and we cut back to the wall. We got a Lord Commander with Jon Snow.
Right. So this is a gushy little moment. So Lord Commander's like, look, kid, you know, you saved my life. Here's a gift. And John's like, no, I couldn't take this. And he's like, yeah, it was supposed to be for my son, for Jorah, my son, but he dishonored everybody, so you can take it and you will take it. And he's like, oh, shit. He opens it. He's like, this is Valyrian steel. Like, this is crazy. And and so he's like, before you get too excited, I still don't approve of you and Sir Alistair and that business that y'all got going on. And he's like, all right, like, I'll apologize to him. And he's like, no need. I sent his ass to King's Landing with a dead fucking hand. So that'll keep him busy for a bit. And he's like, word, okay. And so, like, Morgan, like, basically, I love you, son, and thank you. But, of course, he doesn't do that. It's just, you know, it's just like, all right, yeah, I got you this gift, you know, and I sent off homeboy so you can, like, trot around with your sword in peace for a bit. Now bring me some dinner.
So, get my wine.
He had no problem. He had no problem with it. He was all
like, I'll go fetch your dinner.
Yeah.
So yeah. As soon as he leaves there, he's off. Everybody, how does everybody know he got a sword? Like, they knew, like, the moment he stepped out. Like, people are like, yo, like, everybody's like.
It was like that scene from Juice. It was like that scene from Juice when Q just leave the audition. Way to win that. Yeah, way to get that, young buck. What?
So
they were hyped for him.
So John comes in there and it's like he got the first Game Boy. If anybody can remember that that's how old I am. When the first motherfucker came into the lunchroom with that Game Boy and everybody crowds, ooh, let me get a turn. Can I play Tetris? Blah, 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 blah. And they're all running around. They're much like children. So, which is fine because then I think John feels some camaraderie with his fellow night mates and not feeling like such an outcast with being disappointed from what the Night Watch turned out to be. Then Sam was like, yo, Raven came, and he was a little hesitant. He was like, what? Again, this is more evidence that we should have learned early, but we know now. Everybody reads your Raven. There's no Raven unturned.
Everybody reads your Raven.
Security. Every Raven that comes is your mom busting on the phone. I'll pay this phone bill and doesn't get off the phone. Politely, the person you're talking to.
Hang up.
You hear it still up there.
I got it.
Hang up. I
got it.
You don't pay no bill.
I gotta puff back up. You don't pay no bills. I get off the phone. Or what's even worse is a mother who's so oblivious and pays so many bills, she doesn't even care about things like dial tone or anybody using the phone for her. She picks up the phone.
And just start dialing. Yes.
It's my father.
Oh, shit.
It's my father.
It's like, Mom.
Get off
Mom.
the phone.
Mom.
Mom, you up 7 times. Mom. I'm on the
What?
Well, then get off the damn phone.
Get off my damn phone.
You see, I need to use it.
Mom.
You see, I need to use it.
This is the highest point of embarrassment. Whatever you had going with the girls, slick talk, this is just like the scene in Boys in the Hood. When you going to give me them yams? Trey, this is your mother. It's the same exact.
Like,
ain't no cut up going on around here. I cut your little ass up.
There it is. Cut your little ass up. Cut your little ass up. All right, and then Sam breaks the news to him that the brothers marching on the Lannisters, and John immediately gets his solo spot. All those lights drop in the theater, and he's like, I should be there.
Exactly what happened.
That's what I felt.
Hidden spotlighting.
And he's tracing him and he starts walking across. And then that gives John something to really ponder about. I mean, back then, again, we're watching in hindsight, so it's making me relive the feelings I had when I first watched it. So when I first watched it, I thought, oh shoot, he's about to roll out. You know what I mean? I didn't know the Night's Watch or anything was such a bonding thing. I didn't know about scenes to come that would guilt him to stick around. And so John had something to ponder about. So now we go back, another zigzag move. We're back at the Twins.
But wait, before we leave this scene.
Yeah, what did I
leave this scene. Yeah. So when he first came in with the sword, what's the one dude that they stopped from beating up? Remember, he looked up real quick, like he was hating. He was in the corner.
He was heated. Now remember, he's the guy that later on is with the other guy with the daggers that end up betraying Lord Mormont.
Yeah.
He's second there with him. So he's that type of guy. So, when they're mentioning child molesters or rapists, I think he's a rapist the way the way they were keeping him from people and stuff like that. So yeah, he was very salty. He did have a look. So we saw seeds of dissent from him seasons earlier. You know what I mean? We could predict it a little bit. I can't remember his name, but he has a name, Shagar or something. He has a name. They do give him
Trash Young Ball. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. CYB. Trash Young Ball.
Trash Young Ball.
So Catelyn comes back from her wily negotiations with the late Walder Frey. And she's negotiated a deal. So Catelyn comes back and tells them the terms of the deal. And it's funny because as she's saying things, Rob keeps saying, and because nothing's done. So first Cat breaks down a little, you'll have to take one of his sons, Oleander, as a squire. So Rob's like, all right, fine. I know that's not his name, but that's what it sounds like. Oleander is a squire. All right, so and he goes, and then Catelyn goes, then Arya will have to marry his one of his young sons, Waldron, when they come of age. And she still has this look on her face.
Not like that.
So, and Rob's like, that ain't going to go over well.
Not gonna like that. In fact, she might stab a motherfucker, all right? So
She's definitely poking somebody she don't want to marry.
Oh, yeah. And then drum roll, please. And Rob, you will marry one of his daughters, whichever you like.
Holler!
Theon has this stupid, sick, buck-tooth look on his face.
Theon was literally like, you have to marry an ugly one.
and
all his daughters are ugly.
Rob even asked his mom, did you get a look at the daughter?
What?
And she said yes. Right. She said yes.
Wait, Castro, wait. Before you say that part, she said that you have to marry one of his daughters. He says there are a few that would be acceptable.
Yeah.
And then he asked, did you get a look? And she says,
yes. And she said, I saw one. One might be acceptable.
One might could with the right lighting.
I'm just gonna stop you because she actually said one was, and she couldn't even finish her fucking sentence.
Right.
Like, one was
alive.
I thought she was saying like one was alive. Stop it. Did somebody say alive?
What, Cat?
I thought she was saying one was acceptable, like alluding to
one was a person.
One was a human. Yeah, exactly. One was not sitting on his lap.
Yeah. One was maybe an adult.
I mean, so I know this guy's old, and I know he gets with a lot of young wives, but that is a lot of children. There were children sitting on either side of court for him. And when they left, it took them like 5 minutes to all scurry out of that room.
Do you remember when one of his sons spoke, and he was like, if it wasn't for me your mother was a milkmaid, and if it wasn't for me squirting you into her belly?
Into her belly, yeah.
That is what he said.
Yo.
Your mother was
disgusting.
That is what he said.
He said, mother still be a milkmaid if I ain't squirt you into her belly. Now shut up.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yo, at what point do you just stand up and be like, rumble me? Like rumble me.
No, I think there's a gigantic
people there.
Fear.
It's company.
No, look,
in front of company. You gotta rumble me.
In front of company?
He raised these kids. How do you think he raised these kids? They raised each other. He whooped them mercilessly. He probably beat the hell out of them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a fear for their father.
Oh, no, they're
all
terrified.
Of them are sitting there with their head down. Everybody's head is down. And not just in some reverence because you're our Lord, but head down. Some of them try to speak up. He said, you're not Lord Walder Frey until I'm dead. Do I look dead to you? Like, nobody's challenging my seat. I'm terrorizing everybody. And he's trying to marry all of them all. He's been shunned by the Tullys, and now he's finally getting some Stark in him. But God knows how many he's married off to who and whoever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he
said he did trying to get rid of them kids. He can't get rid of them.
Damn.
That's why he mad.
But obviously later on he does get rid of one to Bruce Bolton, but I guess one a year. I mean, he has so many. Like, if he even gets rid of one a year for 10 years,
he's still feeding them all. He's still paying for them. I see why he's upset. He's still feeding them. It's a mess hall full of his own fucking kids.
Not a mess hall.
They're supposed to be gone. Yeah. Yeah, they're supposed to be gone.
So throughout the whole thing, Theon is snickling and giggling, and he can't stop himself from laughing. But he doesn't take any time to wash his face or mouth or hands. It's disgusting, man. So, Rob kind of just goes with it. And look, this is, again, when you first watch, you don't know this. You just kind of like, I thought this is just how business is done. You hear that Kat and Ned were like an arranged marriage. You hear that Robert go on about it. So you just think, okay, within war, out comes these allegiances. Cersi getting with Rob after Robert's rebellion. So you just think this is just the price of tax to do business. So when he agrees and they just go through smooth, I'm just thinking this is how it is. I didn't think there would be future repercussions, and it was written as such, the book and the show. So that's actually good. But again, I just thought this was the cost of business. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to marry somebody. All right, Rob. And it's so many kids with. Bear with me, y'all. There's so many children. I think this is just kind of how it happened. So my first 4 oldest, two got married in this conflict. One was betrothed, and one married when they came of age since they were little kids. So all this arranged marriage, I think, is way ahead of time. So when he agrees, I really don't think nothing of it. I just think, okay, this is, like I said, the tax to do business, and they make it through. They go through the twins. Next up,
Wait, can I just say? So Kat is like, so you consent, right? Like, and he's like, I ain't got no choice, right? And she's like, yeah, pretty much, if you want to cross here. And he's like, all right, I consent. But it doesn't really seem like it sunk into him. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like he agreed because that's what he had to do. But
he felt like he could get out of it.
Yeah, it seems like he was just like, all right, like fucking Michael Scott. You guys remember that episode where Michael Scott is like, I'm going to declare bankruptcy. And he's like, I declare bankruptcy. Like, he just says it out loud. Like, that makes it okay. You know? It's like, like, all right, like, you still got to file some papers. You still got a whole, like, thing you got to do. And that's how I felt about Rob. Like, he just, I declare it. I consent. Fine. Yeah, you got to see this through.
We're done. Yeah. Yeah.
So I felt like he just wasn't really in it when he agreed to it. He wasn't in it. He was waiting. He knew something was coming. He was like, and
again,
yeah, I'm not doing
Rob
that.
So. Traditionally, he's supposed to be. We never can tell, but supposed to be like 15, 16 in the book. So let's just make him 18, 19 in the show, or whatever. So he's growing up right before our eyes. So that's why I put some merit to it. I totally agree. He definitely was just kind of all right. But I thought, all right, this is when you get married at 17, 18, within a conflict. This is just what happens as you go along. And he's growing. He's winning battles. He's getting married. That's what they do at that age. Ned, when they show Ned seasons later at the Tower of Joy, he's like Rob's age. If you know what I'm saying? Young. So, this is just what happens at this time. You start having kids, you get married very early or whatever. So I agree with you, Ab. I thought he was just kind of flipping to it and just like, all right, whatever, let's do it. But I also thought at the end, though, whatever I saw as the end of this, when I'm watching the first time, I'm thinking, okay, he'll come back around and get married because this is just what they all do.
Yeah. Okay. But it took me, you mentioned Castro, you were saying earlier as far as, marrying the kids off. It really gave me another perspective just now how these kids, when it comes to these families, no matter whether, highborn or not, they're really just currency. It's important that we have.
Great point.
So it's just currency. It's important that we have so many sons and so many daughters. And, we got to see what families we want to merge with. And I got to see if I can get my daughter over here and secure that allegiance.
Oh, but check this, y'all. When somebody does do it for love, right? When they go to follow the tradition, they follow their heart, it leads to chaos in the realm. Hence, Robert's rebellion, the whole thing started because of love. She did not get kidnapped. They fell in love. So when that happens, that throws a big wrench in it as opposed to him just marrying Lysa like he was supposed to because he was promised. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Castro, every single time. Tyrion and Shay, Rob and his wife that gets killed at the Red Wedding. You're right. Time after time. When love comes into play, it's not disrespectful to the tradition. This is not what we agreed to. Yeah, get this on up out of here.
As opposed to, it added untimely end, but, you know, speaking of Walder, who does get married to one of his daughters, who's voting. He takes it. He's like, oh, I got her. He gave me her weight and go, you know. So what I'm saying is when it's done by tradition, so far it keeps the status quo. But when it's when it's done for love or whatever, it definitely sends ripples through the realm. And I'm curious, as a little side note, y'all, who the hell would they have married Joffrey to, like really married him to? Oh, I guess homegirl. But you get what I'm saying? He's so weird. Anyway, sorry. That was just a random thought. My apologies. Because he does end up getting with Marjorie. But, you know.
Marjorie,
yeah. Okay, so now we go back to the wall. And Jon is Jon's a little upset and distracted, as he always is in these first couple of seasons. Thinking about rolling out. You know, he doesn't actively make a move, but he's definitely thinking about rolling out and going with his brother. And he gets summoned by Master Aemon.
Right, Master Aemon. So yeah, he's up there, and he's like, all right, you know, what do you need me for? And Master Aemon's like, can you help me out? And he's like, oh shit, you know. He's still warming up to being in the position that he's in anyway. Now you got me.
Yeah, that's steward. He doesn't like that steward shit. Yeah, he doesn't like that steward.
Yeah, it's like
he's
that
not
shit.
a fan.
Feeding these damn ravens. So Master Aemon starts talking to him about, you know, the raven that came and what his intentions at this point might be. So clearly, Jon's like, oh, so you know. Snitch boy. Gonna snitch me out.
Definitely.
Not gonna mention his name. You guys still love him. So he's like, oh, okay. So you know. Damn snitch. All right. So he's like, listen. Do you understand why you're up here? You understand why we do things the way we do? You can't have kids. You can't have a wife because we don't want you choosing your family and love and passion over honor. We have a directive when we're up here. We got things that we got to do.
Overdo.
I understand. Right. I understand your family's going through some shit. And he's like, you don't understand. And I was sitting there like, Jon, you about to get played, man. You're about to get played. You always want to bark on days. If there's school days. If anyone that understands, it's that dude right there. Man, you about to get sunned. And then he sunned him. He laid it all out. He was like, listen, fate waited until I got old and rickety and couldn't even fight back for them to take my entire family away from me. They killed the kids, B. And Jon's face was just like, oh, you do understand. It was another, you know nothing, Jon. Yeah. Oh. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
You had a life before you lived here?
And then it's revealed, oh, hey, he's a Targaryen. What? And then immediately I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all niggas is related. That is awesome. Look at this shit.
Now. Wow. That's something. I didn't think about that. That's dope. So wait, let's get it right. He is Aerys Targaryen, the Mad King. That's his nephew, right?
Yes.
Right? So he's the uncle because his brother yes. No, great. He's his great uncle, right? Great uncle because his brother's
son is the Mad King.
Right.
That's his nephew. You had it right.
His uncle. Yeah, you got it.
So his uncle. I was thinking of the level because he mentioned his father too, and then his father was his brother. Yeah, his brother who took the throne because he didn't want it. Then his brother's son was Aerys, the Mad King. Got it. And we're still kind of in the dark. We don't know that. Do you think that Olenna Tyrell was with him first? Remember, she stepped and got with her husband. So we wonder if it was Aemon Targaryen.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, repeat that. Like remember when she talks about her history, how she had a first, and some Targaryen guy, and she didn't want to deal with it. I think it was Aemon. Anyway.
Might have been Aemon.
Yep.
So, who is he to Jon? Let's try to get this real quick.
Okay. He is Jon's. Let's see.
Because the Mad King is Dany's grandfather?
No, that's her father.
No, the Mad King is Dany's dad.
Right.
So then Aemon is her great uncle.
No, just her uncle. Just her regular uncle. Because remember, she's so young. That's why so Aries.
Nah, it will be her great.
Great uncle. Yes. Yeah, that'd be her great uncle. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So he's Jon's great uncle. That's about as long as it goes. You know what I mean? Even though Jon is her nephew and Rhaegar's son, that's still his great uncle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that yet, Castro? That whole
what?
Auntie nephew relationship. You all right with that?
No, I never will be. Did I give y'all an impression I would?
Here's the thing. It's totally. I just find it interesting, Castro, that there are things that you are. Hold on, sir. Whoa. Whoa. Reel it in, sir. You can give me all of that passion and aggression after I say what I need to say. So I find it interesting that you have the ability to go with the flow of all the other things. Like, that's just the way things were. Like, you get married at war, you marry your 15-year-old daughter, you do these other things. Totally fine, because that's acceptable. That's the time and the realm. Leave that where it is. An enormous issue with Dany and Jon, but not nearly as big of an issue with the twincest that has shown itself since day one. I just find it weird that you have the ability to be fluid in the story and then totally rigid with other things. Now, your turn to yell at me.
Funny how.
I seen it coming. I was waiting. I was going to do it, but Afro beat me to it. Good man. I think it's funny how.
You can finish, Af, because I have a retort for all y'all.
Oh, I'm done. That was just that one little boop.
Oh, just that one little
boop?
Yeah.
Oh, just that boop?
Yeah.
Just push me. I'm tipping over the edge. I'm tipping over the edge. Somebody pull me back. No, Af. Boop. Just bump me right over oblivion. All right.
Yeah, it's an ad-lib.
Okay, I am not so gung-ho about the twincest and all that, but Morg, you brought up a point. We learned that from the get-go. So that was the original idea I was dealing with right then. I will tell you this. I considered a lot. I read a lot of the history and lore, watched a lot of it, so I saw there was a lot of incest going on with the Targaryens, but it seemed very centralized to them. But I never, even with all the incest going on and the youngness and the oldness and all the weirdness and Pycelle bitch ass, I did not think that an aunt would be sleeping with her nephew. I didn't think that would be the thing. I didn't. As much as I even didn't want Jon and Dany together, I did not. Y'all remember that? But
let me ask you this, Castro.
It pains you to say.
If the story were different and Jon and like there was no secret that he was a Targaryen, so this was just more Targaryen on Targaryen. You think it would have been? Would you still feel the same way, or would you just have come to accept it because they're Targaryen? Okay.
No, sometimes
you know what I'm saying?
I like. No, I'm answering. Sometimes I like allies and shows for them to come right to the line of romantic interest, but not venture into it, and not even to show that. I just feel like sometimes TV doesn't show successful male-female relationships where they really jive with each other and they really get down. But there's none of that sexual stuff. They don't have to have these longing stares by torchlight.
Yeah.
And so when I saw them working it out, we see it later on in the season when they're the Dragon Kid. When I see them working it out, I'm like, cool, this is dope. All right, so we watch Walking Dead. Carol and Daryl. Like, I love that they're not, you know what I'm saying? But they still love each other so much, but they're never going to go there. And that's what I didn't want. Excuse me. Lord have mercy. She just put that picture in my head.
Right. I saw it.
Right.
I saw you just now. Like, oh God.
The silver hair and the vest with the wings on it. So, so that was my first apprehension to it. But then when it kicked in that they're auntie and nephew, and we kind of knew some of that anyway, and it's like then the way they superimposed them sleeping with each other with the reveal, and then you hear Bran, the robot human. I just couldn't. I can't, y'all. I can't. I mean, I'll get used to it. I'll still squirm and whatever. I just can't. Sorry.
All right. Well, there it is. There it is.
I still think it's funny how. Sorry.
So Mike Eamon is like, listen, I said what I said. You're going to do what you're going to do. You know, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to leave you with these options. And hopefully you'll make the right choice. Boom. Don't be an idiot. Yeah. Then we cut back to the Dothraki. You have something?
Yeah. The other thing that Master Aemon said was, I mean, like you said, Jon was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, goes through his family spiel, and he's like, "But for real, who am I?" Like, I mean, I'm Aemon Targaryen, but for real, I'm the Maester of the Citadel. It's like who I really am. So it's that shit where it's like, yeah, like we like lose our identities here. Like I am Negan, nigga. Like like it's that type of shit. Right. Where you gotta like say. So he does at the end say like it's your choice. Figure it out, and then once you do, you gotta live with it for the rest of your life, just like I do here, old and shit. But look at me. You'll be fine.
You'll be
like, oh God.
Yeah, right.
Everything's gonna be totally great for you.
There was a split second in there too when they were going back and forth, and Jon was like, "I don't care for my father's bastard. I'm still a Stark," and da 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 da.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
oh yeah.
I remember like thinking, does Aegon like no? Like he couldn't couldn't.
No, yeah, no.
Yeah, but he had like a smirk on his face, like, "Oh, I see you think you are. You think that's what you think? Oh, that's funny. Right? You don't really know who you are, bro. You just running hard real quick." But so wait a minute. Where did Sam was at the Citadel when he saw that account. Actually, when what's the girl's name? Little Sam's mom, Gilly.
Gilly.
You got her name? She's the one that read the books that were at the Citadel, and Maester Aemon was at the Citadel. Then he came to Castle Black. Okay, all right. Well,
Now, yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So next we go to the Dothraki horde. Looks like Drogo isn't doing too well. I feel like they had him up there a little too long. Like, how long is it?
Drogo is doing the absolute worst.
Yeah. And my thing is like, you just, like, wow. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just confused.
No.
I'm really confused.
So they're trekking across the sub-Saharan desert.
The Red Waste.
But they're not even at the Red Waste, right? They're just like...
No,
well, I mean, the Red Waste spreads out, but no, I think they're just traveling from that last town they ransacked.
Yeah, so the sub-Saharan desert, like they're literally... the sun is just sitting on top of their shoulders, and there's no greenery anywhere. And Drogo is dead on that horse. Like, he is gray.
Struggle bus.
He's, like, slobbering. He is for sure the struggle bus. He is hurting for certain.
Rolling in the back of his head. His eyes rolled.
It's like, who put him on a horse alone? What the fuck were we talking to him? He needed to die.
Right.
Like,
well, I think it's all symbolic.
Like, on Jordan's back.
And somebody needs to be leading his horse, but I think the cow always rides in front of their cow.
Well, no, I get it, but, like, don't you want him to be alive, too? Like, so,
Right.
Let's do some one or the others here and pros and cons. Like, get him okay before he needs to be the call at this very moment. Anyway, he falls right the fuck off that horse. Like, he's gone. He's done. And he's just mumbling and gurgling. It's just like,
oh my God.
He's done. He all cleaned up.
Yeah, he's a mess. The wound has for sure festered. It's not a little cut anymore. It's like that. His whole pectoral muscle is gone. I don't know what happened. It spread. So the one dude is like, well, if you can't be on a horse, you ain't no call. So this is canceled. And Danny's like, we're just going to set up camp. My man needs to take a nap. We're going to do that now.
She's
and
like, he's just tired. That's all.
He's just tired. That's it.
Oh, my God.
She's like, as soon as he needs a good night's sleep, you guys, like, what's the deal? Like, he's going to be fine. He just needs to not be on a horse for a little bit and take a good nap. But also, we also need that witch. So can you go get her from the back of the pack and bring her up?
Yeah, fetch me my witch, please.
Yes, because she's going to assist in the nap. And
again,
dude's like,
dude's like, nah, yo, like, you're not hearing us. Like, she's the reason that this. And then he's,
Yes. So he definitely is like, she's like, bring me the witch, and we need to handle some things. And he's like, that bitch needs to die. What is wrong with you? I'm not bringing her anywhere. She's the reason we're here. And she's like, Danny totally stands her ground, and she's like, go get the fucking witch, dude. And don't forget that my boyfriend is the call. He will kill you once he gets up from his nap.
Yo, he looks so fucking bad. His eyeshadow is fucked up. Like, it's like
all of it.
Yo,
all of it. He got
it's the fucking morning after smoky eye. Like, Morgan, you ever do a smoky eye one night and not wash that shit off in the morning? Woo. And you just look like you were just fucking boxing all night or something.
You just look like the Walk of Shame, and it doesn't matter if you took that walk. Yes.
It's like, oh, shit, somebody fix his eyeshadow. Yeah, he was not doing well, yo.
Yo, when she was like, he just needs some rest, he'll be fine. Like, the way y'all were just retelling just now, that shit reminded me of, like, old cities when you see them drunk, 3 o'clock in the morning. He's fine. And you know I'm talking about Afro, and they want to get in the club. They want to get into the club, and they're already dumb drunk. Oh, no, he just needs some water. We just need to get inside. He'll be fine. Just sit him up.
Yes, water will do it.
It's so interesting to see. It's so interesting to see such a quick downfall from Drogo. He was a big character.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? He was larger than life. He had many monologues. He already had like 3 or 4 monologues before he killed somebody. And then to see him gurgling and throwing up on himself and falling over, that was a shock to me. I thought, you know, again, this realm is showing us showing us its teeth. You get sick, you kind of die. You know, from a scratch, a little cut, like, you know, you
out of here.
If you don't know what you're doing, you're out of here. And it's not like, you know, magic is not really helpful, and unless you have a true healer.
Well, but let's be clear that homeboy that is protesting all of this with Danny has a scar that looks like he was stapled with a staple gun that is an industrial sized thing built for cows. Like so somebody getting stitched up around this motherfucker. Right?
But also,
I feel like that I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, when he got that cut, we all were like, yeah, well, they must be getting those kind of cuts and still living, because there's no way he hasn't been, you know, severely injured at some point in all of these battles. And it's just that that random shit where, you know, Robert gets fucking hit by a boar, and that's got to be pretty gross.
Wait, don't you think that the witch did something to the wound?
Oh, I absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
You don't think so?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
Especially the way the rest of the episode played out. I don't. No.
I think she started from then. Okay, so my thought from the last time we watched it, and maybe it'll change as we progress, but even up to this moment, I think the witch did something from then. And then she continues with the blood magic. Like I think that's from the jump. She's like, oh, my mom taught me how to make ointments and shit. Watch me do my shit. And Yeah, the
first time
her whole town got pillaged and raped and gone. You know, like she don't want to fuck with them.
Yeah, she don't want to fuck with them. You know, but it could have been a lot worse because Danny did spare them. You know what I'm saying? So the first time watching it,
Danny did what?
True, she did spare them.
Spare them.
What she was looking at as an alternative to where she is now was a whole lot worse. So the first time,
but that doesn't mean that person understands that either. Like people are acting on revenge all over the place.
Yeah, and we see that she's not grateful because it's perspective. Like, you know, again, not to get too far ahead, but she distinctly says when Danny confronts her, you know, I was raped 4 times by the time you got to me. So what did you say?
Right. You ain't saved me from shit.
You know, righteous. And I thought that was it's upcoming, but I think that's a good moment for Danny. Oh, I'm such a savior. I'm saving you. Ain't saved me from shit, like Morgan just said.
Right.
You know, y'all burnt down my whole spot. We don't know if they killed one of her children. We don't know what they were doing because they, you know, it's carnage.
Which is the continued story of Danny moving forward.
Yeah.
Very true.
Those epiphany moments of like, oh shit, maybe I'm not doing a great thing here.
I just remember having a distinct and concrete feeling of blaming her for Khal Drogo's demise the first time watching it. But then on this rewatch and seeing how everything played out in this episode, being like, no, this actually wasn't her fault. Him dying was not directly her fault. That's the way I looked at it at the end of the episode, the way everything, you know. Again, I'm not going to jump ahead. I'm not going to discuss that point. When we get there, I'll revisit it.
No, I think it's her fault. I for sure.
Okay, why is that?
I mean, she didn't even sew the wound up. Like when
never happened.
When you see the wound later, it's still wide fucking open with like some sap on it. So that was the agreement from the beginning. And you sew my man up.
I'm telling you, you could do that. She would have been better off asking Jorah to do it. George probably sewed himself up a couple of times. He's out
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
She would have been better off him doing it him fucking self. No matter whatever he normally does. However you
I think what he normally
feel.
does is leave that shit open. Because he was like, what are we doing? Do what?
Yeah, that's
he normally leaves that shit open.
Wound on his shoulder with the saber gun, I have one of those. That's when you kind of don't know what you're doing and you heal it your own way. Then it lumps up with all the scar tissue underneath it. Now those cuts could be somebody primitive, just they don't have anesthesia. They don't seem like they drip.
Right.
So they just probably just sew the shit right up. So I'm with y'all though. By looking at Homeboy, it definitely shows they don't wear armor, that they should have been used to these type of cuts. Especially cut.
Mm-hmm.
You know
and that's why I think she had something to do with it.
Yeah.
He welcomed that wound. He welcomed it.
No, he created the wound for real. Yeah, like he made that wound be as bad as it is, no question. But I think that he has probably suffered a worse wound than what that was. That's all I'm thinking, and that's what leads me to believe that she had something to do with the wound actually festering the way that it did. Also, I just really did not like the way she said the wound is going to fester, and then it fucking did terribly. So, I mean, that was the beginning for me.
But again, I want to retract because I think Danny had no choice because, like y'all said, the girl starts talking, oh, my family taught me herbs and ointment. You know what I'm saying? And she's kind of desperate here, even though it just started. But when you hear somebody talking, you immediately assume that, oh, this person could help. You know what I'm saying? She's speaking that language. That's all I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So,
definitely. And Danny was also, I think you guys pointed this out to me whenever we talked about this before, that Danny's used to having someone to help. You know, like, oh, shit, make this better. Like, hey, hello. You know, like, and she was desperate. She doesn't want to, she's getting very used to the life that she's living now and is fully immersed. And she's not looking, and she's fully in love with him. So she doesn't want to see that go away. She's totally desperate, but she's also naive as shit and like 12 years old. So sometimes listen to other people.
I like what they show, because this is early because we don't see her this way anymore. Her hair is a little disheveled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The symbolism of the braid is coming out a little bit. You know, as he gets worse and worse. And, you know, you don't care in those moments. You're just trying to give all your energy to your loved one or whatever. But I noticed that in this episode specifically. I was like, oh, her hair's kind of messed up. It's just showing the bottom that she's going to hit before she becomes triumphant and reigns supreme. So it's just like little touches like that are really significant to me upon this rewatch.
Great call out. So then we move directly into the Lannister tent where they are full-blown situation room war strategy going on.
Getting it cracking. Now, I didn't have a chance to see what the spread looked like. Everyone did look like they were enjoying themselves. The food was good. But I didn't get, they didn't give me the scenes that I need where I'm like, you know, I didn't see any succulent portions of any type of meat.
There was a lot of snacking, and there was a lot
of...
When you snack, like, you can't really tell. It looked like he was throwing in cubes or something. Like, Kevin was...
Grapes, some cheese, some grapes maybe, nothing major, you know.
Light fare.
Light fare. It was light fare. And then, you know, and then Tyrion comes in. What's good, everybody? What's happening? What y'all talking about? And, you could see it in Tywin's face. He's like, this motherfucker here. Motherfucker that brought me these wild-ass people.
When the wine starts pouring, he's looking at
Tyrion.
Oh, yeah. Immediately. Because that's the first thing he does when he gets to the table. Let me catch up with you guys with this wine. Look like you guys are like 3 glasses in. Let me play catch up real quick.
I love it. I'm sorry. Can I just interject real quick? I'm really sorry. But it really is like Tyrion is always at a restaurant, no matter where he is in the world. He is always in a restaurant. He doesn't pour shit. He just gives a nod, like, you know, I just sat down. And it's not like anyone ever comes over and is like, water, sir? No, like they just come and pour him wine. He doesn't have to ask, you know, what kind do you have? It's just, here you are, sir.
Here's
always everywhere.
It's a quick question for anybody. Has anybody in the show drank juice?
It's wine.
I think it's wine.
Yes.
Purple drink.
Yes, everybody drinks juice.
Yes.
Everybody drinks juice, and it's called wine.
Purple Sprite, B. Come on. What? No juice. All fermented juice.
Because even the kids get to drink wine at special occasions. So it's like, that's all they got.
Yeah. Crazy.
Anyway, sorry.
So my question is, was Tyrion late to, like, was this a strategy breakfast?
He wasn't invited.
I don't think he was invited.
Oh, you don't think he was invited? Okay.
Yeah, he crashed the brunch. He crashed the strategy brunch.
He's not a part of the war council.
No.
Tywin's mad as fuck that he's even there and can't figure out, like, and you brought friends? Yeah, like he's definitely not happy. Right. And I had to make them shit? This is some bullshit.
So, they start discussing the war strategy that Tyrion has joined them. And they do start talking about, it was a Shagger that he needed special axes made, 2 double-sided axes. And, you know, like, well, Shagger, you know, he loves his axes. I made this you know, so he's like, oh, well, you know, that's fine. I hope y'all got everything y'all need because y'all going to be on the vanguard. And Tyrion's like, hold up, what? And he was like, yeah, you going to have us in the front? Like, yeah, y'all good. Y'all gonna lead the charge. And he's like, listen, I'm pretty sure there are more creative ways that you can kill me without jeopardizing the fight by having us in the front. I can't even keep my people straight. They arguing over each other. Somebody trying to cut somebody else's dick off. Like, they arguing over sausages and shit. And Tywin is like, listen, if you can't control your people, and your people aren't controlled, that's the part of their commander. That's on you, B. That's nice. I'm got nothing to do with that. Like, Tywin was really just shrugging the whole thing off. That everyone is sitting right here. It was like a Trump moment. We're all sitting around the table, and it's very clear you're sending your son off to get killed. You're sending your Lannister son off to be killed. You're putting him in the Vanguard. Everybody's cool with it. It is what it is.
On purpose.
Good decision here. Yeah, we totally ride with you. That makes sense. Yeah, put him in the Vanguard. Yeah, cool. Please,
so what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say is Tyrion is Eric Trump.
Yes. Yes.
That one can die at any time.
Anytime.
No one will care. No one will cry.
He's got funny teeth. He can go anytime. We can get him out of here. He can go. He can go. So Tyrion's like, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. No, you're not cool. I'm going to smack my plate over. I don't want this muffin no more. Fuck you. I'm out. And he's done. He rolls out. And no one cared. No one broke their stride. You know what? Okay. Guy's gone? Okay, cool. No big deal. So he makes it back to his tent. And Bronn has brought him Shay. She looked a little different. Like a little thinner. Like maybe she, put on a couple pounds later on, seasons later. She looked a little thinner. I don't remember how long she ends up staying with us, so maybe it's just age that I'm seeing. But Tyrion let Bronn know, look, we will be in the Vanguard. And I expected Bronn to be like, because this is very early in a relationship, he's the sellsword. And he mentions, he lets Jaime know, he reminds Jaime of that time and time again. I'm just a sellsword. So when Tyrion said we're in the Vanguard, part of me was like, oh, well, he gets to be like, well, I'm out. Pay me my money now. Like, what are we doing?
Oh, okay, bye.
I'm out. Instead, he's like, oh, let me go get me a John too. Let me give you something to lay up with real quick. we might not make it. We might not make it. So Bronn exits, and then Tyrion starts engaging Shay.
So they start to get to know each other-ish. I think we exchange names. Maybe that she's foreign, but she won't say where she's from. And then she, they go back and forth for a little bit, and she's like, okay, well, so Tyrion's like, I think I'm about to die. Like, I'm probably going to die. I'm a little worried about that, but not really that worried because you could be a great time. And she's like, well, what do you want? And he's like, runs down the whole girlfriend experience. Like, if he had a menu of hookers, he was like, I want the GFE, give me that, because he's like, I want you to be here all the time, always. I want you to draw my bath. I want you to pour my wine. I want you to listen to me talk a whole bunch of shit about a whole bunch of people, and I don't want you to talk back until I'm ready to talk to you, and then that's going to be fine. And then I want you to do this, and then I want you to fuck me like I'm not going to be here tomorrow, which, P.S., I'm likely not going to be here tomorrow. I'm probably
also, you can't smash somebody else.
Woo! How did I forget that one? I think we started there. Or that was in the top 3. Damn. Thank you. Yeah. You can't vet any other man. You don't get to do that. I'm a hooker.
Well, he did.
How much money did you about to pay?
Right, that's what I was going to say. He did say, I'll give you all the gold you can hold.
Oh, that is true.
You can't speak to nobody else.
Also forgot that part. He's way too concerned with other things. Yes, he definitely did say, I'll give you all the gold you can hold. So she took him up on that. and started with the you might die tonight. So then we get right back to the Khalasar, and the call is looking even worse.
So Cal is fading fast. They're inside the tent at this point, and Dany is delusional and desperate. And Jorah pulls out his knife and goes to lift up the ointment, salve, whatever. And he's like, yep, he's going to die tonight. So
It is now.
She's just like,
it is now.
Yeah. She's like, he can't. I won't let him. And she clearly means that. We find out later. She really won't just let him. And so he's like, yo, we got to go quickly. And she's like, no, okay. I'm definitely not leaving him. Like, that's not going to happen.
I don't know why.
He's like, let me tell you something. This is not Westeros. Your boy will be plucked from you and given to the dogs. Don't nobody want to fight over, like they're going to fight over who the next Cal is going to be. And when that person is figured out, they're not going to want anybody that would challenge them on that. So that means you and your baby. So so then homeboy enters. Is that Mago? Is that his name?
I don't know if that's Mago. I don't know if that's him.
Yeah.
So anyway, he comes in and pretty much reiterates the exact same sentiment and picks up on his ongoing beef with this witch. He kicks her or some shit. Like, fuck, why is this still going on? And Jorah's like, okay, you might want to chill. You still need to respect her. She's still your Khaleesi. And he's like, yeah, pretty soon you're going to be nothing. And she's like, I ain't never been nothing, nigga. I've always been a dragon. And I'm like, oh, you probably sound like your brother to him right now, And he's like, all the dragons are dead, so.
Boom. Ooh.
Yeah.
Boom.
So then he's like, she's like, yeah, Jorah, you might want to armor up tonight. And he's like, yeah, I agree. So the witch is like, look, all I can do is ease his path into death because, this is all I got. And Khaleesi's like, I know. Why don't you save him with some magic? Wink, wink, fucking eyebrow raise. And she's like, I mean, I can do my blood magic, but only death pays for life, so. And all I can see or hear right now is fucking Brianna Tarr, who's just like, blood magic. And I'm like, oh, this is actually what she's talking about.
Right. Yeah. I was cracking up. I was like, yo, this is the first mention of blood magic. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So,
the big reveal.
Yeah. So she's like, yeah, only death pays for life. And she's like, you mean like my life or like what are we talking about here? And she's like, oh, you should bring me his horse. And she's like, woo, thank goodness, because I thought you wanted mine. And
but she was willing.
So everyone
she was willing to
do
it though.
She kind of side-eyed her a little bit to me. She was like, we might have to figure something else out. Like, she didn't make the straight-up screw face, like, nah. But she was like, And I think more like she was probably willing to do it, but, like, it's not going to be a point in me being alive if he's dead or me being dead if he's alive. So we got to figure this out,
if you have to kill me to bring him back, he's going to be really mad. So,
exactly. He's going to kill you.
Don't do this to yourself.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's, so, yeah, the homies are like, yo, don't do this, yo. It is blood magic. Like, everyone is just like, don't do it. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to go through it. So you guys leave. And so what happened after that? Well,
she made a point to say that no one else
she made
can
a point
be in
to
here.
Say, and the witch was like, no, you got to leave too. And she's like, all right. So she gives him a kiss or whatever. And then she rolls out and sees Jorah, and Jorah is armored up because he was not wasting any time, and it's not night. It's still broad daylight, and he's got his fucking armor on. And he's like, what have you done? We could have been gone, girl. Like, what are you doing? And she's like, I have to save him. And then you hear, like, the spirit sounds and shit. Like, it's definitely going down in that tent. Because what we do know is that the horse's head has already been chopped off, right? So there really shouldn't be any strange sounds that we hear coming from there if there's not, like, an animal or a horse in there. So we definitely know that there's some spirit shit happening. So
blood magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then homeboy, he starts to go into the tent, and Danny is like, no, you can't do that. He knocks her over. And so now him and Jorah got to go at it. They are back and forth a little bit. Jorah, I think he got like a little scratch on his face, but that armor definitely helped him. And so, yeah. I don't know, like, did he actually kill that dude, or did he just gash him across his face, and that was it?
I feel like that was a critical hit.
Yeah, he killed him. He killed him dead, B.
Yeah. I mean, he took most of his face. Yeah.
Okay.
He got him up out of there.
So anyway, he knocked over Danny in the process of doing that, which is pretty much what made Jorah start fighting him right away. And so Danny, I feel like Danny was already having a little bit of pain and cramping because I could kind of see
she was having some strangeness.
Yeah, and so when she fell, it definitely was like, okay, this is it. So Jorah is like, go get the midwives, because she's like, yo, the baby's coming. Go get the midwives. And they're like, nobody's fucking with her because she's been fucking with that witch. So.
You gonna have to get that witch to help?
Like, yeah. So Jorah just picks her up, and he heads into the tent that no one was supposed to be going into. Yeah, and you're just like, it was definitely a reminder for me of like, oh shit, this is how everything went down. Like, in my mind, I think that, well, I definitely thought he died after his shit. Now I'm remembering that there is this whole thing about the witch saving him, and then like what his quality of life kind of is like. I forgot that Danny goes into labor like simultaneously as this is happening. I thought that she went into labor afterwards, and so, and then just remembering how much of a part the witch played in all of this. Like, I think I was remembering that the witch only helped Danny with her birth. I think I forgot about how involved she was with Drogo. Yeah. So. Yeah, all of those. And, you know, we watching this and we know what happens. And so every time anything happens, we just like, why? No, don't. That's why I can't watch movies over and over again. Some people be like, oh, I love that movie. I watch it over. And it's like, no, I know it's not that happen.
I watch Scarface every day. No.
Yeah.
Why?
Right. Although I did go through a Fight Club era where I watched Fight Club every day for like 6 months. It was a very dark period of my life. So.
Wow. Guy Ritchie. I did the same thing with Snatch. And that was on VHS every night. I put it in.
Yep, exactly. Okay, well, it was DVD for me. But, yep, I'm with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is why I was watching this again. I'm looking at this like, okay, so she gave you guys specific instructions. You didn't follow these instructions. Everything went left. So that's what I'm like, this isn't, like, I felt like if she wanted to just get back at them and kill Drogo, then she would have never offered this service. But she's saying, no, all right, you wanted me to do some blood magic? I'll do some blood magic. Here's the instructions, though. Can't nobody come in here. It's going to be spirits all through this joint. And we hear the spirits. Yeah. Now, the second that they walk Danny back in there, I'm like, oh, well, this is your fault. Everything from this point forward, y'all can't blame on the witch. That's how I looked at it. Because I totally forgot about
partially.
how
but also everybody was telling Danny not to fuck with that witch to begin with. Like, Danny really wanted to think of her as like a healer, but I think she was really more like she was on some other shit. So
yeah, I think that you're looking at it at face value. She is a healer, not a witch. She is good-hearted and does take care of people, right? And
not necessarily that as much, but I mean,
okay, well, maybe not going to the good, which I'm not saying that she's the best person in the world, but you have a better view of her, like that she actually would be a healer in this situation.
Well, yeah, because if her intention is to get back, and she really has malice towards them, why even offer the service? She could just let them die out. Period. That's it.
She definitely could have.
Magic.
It's also, so to me, it's an open door. To me, it's an open door to do it faster. To me, it's I wasn't going to do any blood magic on you, but if we're going to do it, all right.
I'm in a blood magic mood.
No,
sure,
I mean, I think that she's there to wreck shop. I don't think she's there to help at all. But I also don't think that she's necessarily going out of her way to fuck them over. It's all been at the hand of Danny. It's all been, please, 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 you come help me. But I don't think that she was ever there to help, and I think from the very beginning it was nefarious. So all I was trying to get at is I think there's a fundamental different view that we have of her, because there was never a point when I thought that woman was going to do them well or do the, whatever it was that Danny wanted.
You gotta get your spider senses up, Am. That's all. Yeah, I'm saying.
Where your intuition at, B?
I mean, I hear y'all. I hear y'all and shit. I just sit there
we can agree to disagree, because I feel you. It's like you they didn't read the instructions, they didn't follow the manual,
right.
And we this shit was built on a shitty foundation from the start.
There was going to be a way that Call died or Drogo died, and I think this bonus in that because she didn't plan on Danny coming back in. I think it's just bonus that she's a fucking idiot and went right back in there. I guess she's not an idiot for that, but she definitely didn't tell Jorah. She didn't tell anyone. She never said it. She never said, don't go in the tent.
Who never said that?
Danny, when she left the tent, she was like, I'm going to tell everyone, and then she never said it, and Jorah took her right back in there. So, he didn't know she wasn't supposed to go in the tent.
And as a result, we got the shit that happens with her pregnancy. I mean, I just feel like...
No, and that's what I'm saying. I just think it's a combo. I just think it's a combo. I don't think that the witch set out to get the baby. I think that Danny was them and went back in. And that is against the instructions and the rules, and it totally fucked her. I think the baby part is coincidental to the blood magic. They went against the grain. I think the blood magic was going to happen. It just, Danny opened the door to make it happen even quicker. Call was going to die. Or he was going to get this life, that he's going to have. She was never going to, have him be back riding a horse. She made him die slow as fuck. So, that's like the best revenge ever. Yeah. Right. It's torture.
All right. So after that, we cut back to the Lannister camp, and we got Tyrion, Shay, and Bran having game night. This was kind of because the no say game night was hilarious because that's what it was. But it's just like, are y'all really what? Y'all really having game night? What is wrong with y'all? What are y'all doing right now?
No, Bron, there's a whole war tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a whole war tomorrow. Bron, I thought you said you was gonna find something to lay up in. What happened?
Bron either struck out or he's a 1-minute man. One of the
right.
two.
Well, Bron didn't get the full commitment. Bron probably got some enrolled. Tyrion was like, I'm buying a living girlfriend.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Bron wanted the bang, not the GFE on the menu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, GFE, what's that?
Fuck me running. Girlfriend experience.
Oh. Okay. All right. I'm Castro, I got it. But I asked.
Are you a part of this conversation or not? I definitely did that earlier.
I heard it earlier. I figured maybe it would dawn on me because sometimes that happens. It'd be like, okay, that's what that means. But it didn't.
Like no dawning
so then
yet.
You said it again. No dawning. No dawning. You use it a second time, and I'm like, just ask, dude. Just ask. Communication is key.
You know what? I take it all back. That's really good. I take it all back.
So,
great job.
They're having game. Thank you. They're having game night. And Tyrion's like, listen, hey, let's play a new game. Let's play a new game. Truth or drink. All right? I'm going to guess.
Truth or drink.
I'm going to guess crap about you guys. And if I'm right, you got to drink. If I'm wrong, I got to drink. And then some of the stuff was just like, okay, Tyrion, you're being very broad. Your father beat you, Bron. Does Bron look like he had a blessed life? What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure we all know. We all know his childhood was trash. All of us.
Right. He was like, yeah, he did. My mom hit harder. Oh, now you got to drink. For Tyrion to be suggesting this game, he's very bad at it. He's very bad at it. And I feel like he plays this in taverns everywhere he goes. So, first Shay's like, I don't want to play. And I'm trying to remember, no, it was Shay first before we got the Tyrion story. So he finally convinces her to play. And he's asking all these questions that he's assuming he knows, her background because he purchased her. So he's assuming to know what her upbringing is. Oh, your mom was a whore, and your father wasn't there when you grew up, and he ran out on you. Wrong.
Oh, and then he did that real general one where he was like, you've been trying to escape your life. You didn't want this life, and you've been trying to figure it out. Like, even Bron was like, that's a little vague.
Yeah.
Like, you're right.
He tried to walk it back and was like, oh, you guys weren't specific. I didn't realize that was what we were playing. It's your game, bro. You know what the rules are. Cut the shit. Try to get a quick win. And he was wrong. So then I was like, okay, so I can't remember what Shay's story is. Did we get a reveal at some point?
Not even a little
bit. From a highborn family? I don't remember anything.
No.
No. We get nothing, do we? Nothing? Okay.
No, absolutely nothing, and that's her point. Fuck your little game. I ain't telling you shit, and you're going to have to deal with that.
It is what it is, dude.
And don't talk about my fucking mama.
Yo,
right.
She was not,
don't bring my parents up ever again.
Bruh, I'll cut your eyes out. All of that. hot grits, all of them things. Dude.
Woo!
No games. So, tables turn, and they start getting into some questions with Tyrion. And I did not remember Tyrion being married. I didn't remember any of the story whatsoever. But it's tragic as fuck. Him and Jaime are on the road. They see some woman, looks like she's about to be raped. So Jaime chases the guys off, and, they run through the motions of him falling in love with someone that he thought was actually interested in him. And they get married, only for Tywin to just completely, wreck him. Completely. Had him watch his men have sex with his new wife. And what do you say? He paid her a piece of silver for each man. And when they got done, she couldn't even hold all the silver. Like, the type of shit that they were doing back in those days. Not that this is history. No, word to Snoop Dogg. But the type of shit that they were doing during this time period, just for shits and giggles, my God. Like, damn.
I mean, they didn't have TV or the internet.
None of that shit. Dad, can I go to the mall? No. But why don't you get married, and then we'll, bring your new wife over here and we'll do some stuff to her. What? Good God. That shit was vicious. And, yeah, I totally forgot about that.
I hadn't forgot about it. I forgot about most of the details of that story, but I remembered when Shay said her response. I was like, yeah, I remember all of this.
What was her response? She
was like, you're stupid for believing that, because any woman who was almost raped would not be laying down with you 2 hours later.
Man.
Hello.
Man. And he was like, well, I said I was young and stupid. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's move on. I'm good. I'm all right with that. So then,
Ron was like, "This is awkward."
Totally.
Yeah, right. So they start making
like,
out. And all right, so I'm gonna leave. And then the very next thing we see, it's the following morning. You know, Bron's running up in the tent like, "Hey, listen, you got to get it cracking."
Well, Tyrion is living his best life. So, because he plans to die today. Last night was a maze ball. He is sleeping through a full-blown war. And Bronn, all armored up, ready to go, was like, "Bro, move it. You got to go. It is War 30. Let's move." And gets them up. They got their armor on. And Tyrion's like I don't know the ranking order. Like, what would he be in the army? Giving the motivational speech before they get out there. I have no clue. No disrespect. I'm ignorant to it.
Right.
Yeah, so he's like, "We're going to fucking do it. It's going to be fantastic." And they all get really excited. And they're like, "We're going to go." And they run into the battle, and they're the front line. I don't know to right now what knocked Tyrion out.
It was a mallet. It was a warhammer.
Yeah.
It was a warhammer. It was so bad. It just swung right at his head. I was like, oh, my God. Damn. It was like someone playing cricket. It was like someone was playing cricket with his head.
Mm-hmm. It was just like cricket.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Because they were hyped. He gave them their little speech.
Yeah. And then they just kept running. They were stepping on them and everything.
What he did was he fucking nailed it. And then he just...
Yeah.
Yeah, he put a battery in all their backs. And they went out,
every single person's back. And they were here for the fuck shit. They were ready to go.
But it was so random because he was fucking hungover. He was like walking out there trying to get it together. And he's like,
"Where's my squire?"
Right. Where's my squire? He's like, "You don't have a squire." He's like, "Oh, okay."
I gotta put the shit on.
Shit.
God damn it.
I gotta get dressed myself. Okay, awesome.
This is gonna be rough.
What am I gonna say? Your dominion begins now.
Yeah. We got this, B. We got this. So when they knocked him out, no one was like, "Oh, snap." No, they kept stepping on him.
No, they just kept moving. He even got stepped on a little bit. You can see him
They trampled him. They stepped on him multiple times. There were quite a few big-ass feet on his back. I don't know how he was breathing. Like, I get how you were knocked out immediately. I don't know how you're alive now. Like, they absolutely trampled that man.
Yeah.
That was a full mess, yo.
So he basically, all of a sudden, Bronn's carrying him. He fucking slept through the whole war.
Yeah, they find a baby gurney for him, which is like the most adorable thing. Like,
baby gurney.
Where'd you guys get that gurney?
Started, and he took a nap. And he woke up and the whole shit was over.
All over. And he's like in a Spike Lee film. He's like floating.
Yes. Yes.
He's definitely in Spike Lee.
Oh my God. Afro, that's the promo right there. I got to make it a Spike Lee joint. Oh man.
Yes.
Oh man. That's it. That's hilarious.
Whenever you're floating in a Spike Lee film, you don't know if you're dead or alive. And so
you don't.
Yes.
That's exactly what he's saying.
And Tywin was like, "Oh yeah, you're alive. You made it. You made it through, huh? Funny.
Great.
Didn't expect to see you here." Right.
How
did another way to kill you? Right.
Did we win?
Yeah.
Right. How'd it go for
Tywin mentions that they killed, what was it, about 2,000 men.
Mm-hmm.
No. He said the guy had the count wrong. He was like, he said it was 20,000, but it was more like 2,000. He was like, well, where's the rest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was. And then we find out in the next scene where the rest are. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So they captured Jamie.
Get out of town.
It's I remember them having Jamie. I forgot how it all played out. So when they came riding up and they threw him down, I was like, oh shit, this is how they got Jamie. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately, Jamie's trying to negotiate. Listen.
Just like the other Lannisters.
Yeah, Linda. Listen.
Honey.
Honey. Linda, listen, honey. This is what we do. Swords, bats, warhammers, dice, whatever you want to use. Me and you, Dolo. Let's just go at
Metal.
it. Let's just go at it. Do it. And whoever wins, that's who wins. Everybody don't gotta die. We don't gotta put everybody through this shit. And it was funny because Jamie. Really? Jamie. That's the best you got? You're not as good as Tyrion, obviously, when it comes to negotiating. But, bruh, no one is fighting you one-on-one. Ain't nobody out here. It's not happening. Least of all Rob. Rob has not proven himself to be battle-tested. He's no ninja. Like, nah, we're not seeing that. Everybody knows what
Rob's like, I make a lot of the wrong decisions, but this one I know. You're trying to trick me.
Not this time.
Right. Not this time. So that is it Cat that tells him to take him up, carry him up, go lock him away? It is Cat, right? Cat's like, go lock him away. Get him up out of here.
Yeah, put him in chains. Get him in chains.
Put him in chains. Put him
or
in
irons or whatever she said.
Here.
Yeah.
So then everybody starts cheering, and Rob's like, hey, man, listen. This is just one little battle. We haven't won the war yet. Just chillax. And you're right, Rob. You really haven't. This was a nice play. Your mom lost one Lannister. You were able to regain another one. I feel like, could you imagine if they still had Tyrion? Man, like that's like a guy with balls off. Period. Boom. We got your two other sons. Now what? Like he'd have to surrender. Like what are you gonna do? You got to do some type of negotiation. Yeah. So then, man, it is episode 9. This is a huge episode. We cut back to King's Landing, and Arya is running the streets, trying to find something to eat.
Running the streets with her thugs. She's catching birds and breaking their necks.
I mean, there was only one, okay?
Sam, that's not the first time she did that. Guaranteed. She did that shit with full ease. It was no squirm, no squeak. She just snapped it real quick and was like, let's see if I can get something for you. If not, we'll figure out a way to eat you. I mean, it was going to serve its purpose either way.
She legit tried to offer a pigeon. She tried to offer a pigeon, fam.
She did. So she's walking the streets and sees it like a sticky bun, some sweet bread, and she's like, "Oh,
they look good."
Yes. Yeah. Well, Amber says you are our food guru. They did
not look good, Am.
They did. They did too. They had fruit toppings and everything. They look delicious. You kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Anyway,
she was scandalized. We'll put it that way. Arya was here for it. She wanted it.
Yeah.
She was contemplating the theft, but dude came out, and she's like, oh, shit. Hey, I got a pigeon, bro. You want trade? Tradesies? And he's like, get the fuck out of here. Sorry, I was like, God dang it. And she notices all these people running, and she's like, what's happening? And they're like, it's up to Baylor, blah, blah, but Ned. No, the hand of the king. She's like, oh, shit, that's my daddy. Yeah, she's like, that's my daddy.
Oh, my God. Oh, shit, that's my daddy.
That's my daddy. She dropped that pigeon so fucking fast. I don't need this as currency, and I don't need this as food later. I got to go see my dad. Out.
She's like, actually, no appetite.
Try to grab one real quick.
No appetite.
Yeah, I thought for sure she was. Like, dude ran off. I was like, all right, you had a chance here. You could grab a couple of these pastries and still you got it in. They look gluten free. Get it cracking. Like right now, real quick.
Shut up.
Right. Okay,
I don't even deal with him, Morgan.
Oh my God, this is my life all the time.
First of all, I know this is bullshit. They look good. They look gluten free. So they look. That don't even make sense.
That's hella bullshit.
You can tell.
No disrespect to your non-gluten folks, but that shit is trash, and you know it, just like we know it. We've all tasted some gluten-free pastry that tastes like full-blown cardboard and asshole. No one wants to eat that.
Yeah, right, so you can say it looks gluten-free, but don't tell me at the same time it look good. I'm not
all right. No, you got me.
Okay.
It can't be both. You're right.
It can't be both.
It can't be both. No, it can't. Because I tried that. Remember? I tried that. I went to Chick-fil-A. I got one of the gluten-free buns. It completely ruined my sandwich. It's trash. It's terrible. It was like putting sand on my chicken sandwich. It was terrible. It was not good at all. So, okay. They weren't gluten-free pastries. I'm sorry. I apologize. They may have been vegan.
I accept your apology.
All right.
Non-dairy.
Now that we've made up, we can get back to the show.
we can move forward. Just real quick, Arya makes her way into a stadium filled with the entire of King's Landing. There are everyone. That's it. Yeah. Everyone's there. Somehow she just needles her way all the way through to a whole fucking statue and just jumps on top of it and watches from there.
With a sword in her back pocket on her hip.
With a sword on her hip, yes.
Yeah.
Now, who is the dude?
Didn't she check it? She was like, is you there?
Who was the dude? Who was the dude that spotted her? Who was that dude?
Ned. That was Ned's homie, and he was like, Ned said to him.
Yeah, so Arya squiggles her way up. Ned is brought out. Arya not only squiggles her way up, but she climbs on top of a statue. And so when Ned comes out, he pretty much sees Arya right away because it's not like she's in the crowd. She's elevated above the crowd. So they connect eyes. And then as he passes his homeboy, he gives him the cue of I feel like he keeps saying, he says Baylor. But I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, said Baylor, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what he said because I rewound it 3 times and I was like, I have no clue what the fuck he's saying right now. So anyways, homeboy sees Arya. Ned is escorted onto the platform. I want to say the stage, but that doesn't seem appropriate.
No.
Sansa gives him this weird smile, which is partially, Daddy, I saved you, partially, everything's going to be okay, partially, this sucks and I got to look good in front of everybody, that everything's going to be
and
fine.
Partially, look at me, I'm a part of the royal court.
Right. Exactly.
I made it. Exactly. Daddy, I made it.
I made it. Daddy, I made
it. With this guy. I love him. I told you I love him.
I told you this was going to work out.
So Ned confesses to all of the crimes. Eddard, right? Not Nedard. Eddard.
Yeah.
Lord of Winterfell was the hand of the king. I conspired with his brother to, he just goes through and does the most, in my opinion. I'm like, how do you go from being I'm no actor and I can't,
Right, to give it an Oscar performance.
To Oscar performance saying everything. All they really asked you to do was to be okay, my bad. The true king is this kid here. I agree. Let's all go about our business. He went through the longest list.
He did have to admit to the treason. He had the cops to that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was part of it. But he did.
I just
went
feel like it went on forever. Like, he said the most. Like, he did not say the least. Yeah. He didn't go by the bare minimum.
No, he didn't go. He did not.
Yeah. So, then somebody throws a rock at him, which is just like, that's a lot, buddy. Calm yourself.
That was drawing the shit, dude.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So when that happened, that's when I remember. This is just entertainment. They don't care what. They don't care who it is. They don't care what they're confessing to. It's just entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I think who's going to throw the first rock?
Oh, absolutely. This is like gladiator type shit for them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, bitch ass Pycelle is like, he has confessed to his shit, blah blah blah, and Joffrey's like, okay, well. He sure has. Joffrey has this wicked fucking smile on his face the whole time too. I hate Joffrey so much that like I hate him like soap opera hate him. Like if I saw him in a grocery store, I'd be like, "Fuck you, Joffrey!" Like the shit that you've done to the Winterfell people is just ridiculous. You know, it's like that kind of like irrational, and you know, like I could find him on Twitter and go off with him, like just ridiculous. So I'm completely bought into his character. He's an amazing actor, and I hate his ass. So
right.
He does his little crazy smiling and shit, and he's like, you know, my mother wants me to send him to the Night's Watch and let him retire and live out his years there. And my dear love Sansa begged mercy for her father, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, treason shouldn't go unpunished, so we're going to fucking kill him. And everybody starts to flip out. Arya's flipping out. Homeboy grabs her, and he's like, don't watch. Sansa's flipping out on platform. And Cersi is even like, whoa, wait.
This is not what
I forgot about.
This is not what we discussed.
This is not what we discussed.
I remember Cersi wasn't down for that.
Yeah, same. So, Joffrey is smiling, and you see Ned, like, okay, this is happening. So he's on his knees, and he looks out at the crowd, and everything just goes silent. And this is still, I remember the first time watching this, waiting for the hero moment where somebody showed up with a sword and killed everybody on the platform except for Ned. And then Ned stood up with his daughter, and then Arya comes running up, and she's like, my daddy and my needle. Like, she even pulls out needle and, you know, fucks up a couple people in the ankle or something. And none of that shit happens. And instead, fucking, they cut away, and you know that Ned is being beheaded, and Arya looks up, and the birds are flying. And you're like, So the thing I took away from watching this a second time was, like we said, Cersi. I didn't remember Cersi being like, oh, wait, son, we didn't talk about this. What are you doing?
Right.
Although she didn't freak out, like, of course she wouldn't freak out the way that Sansa was, but still, she wasn't with the shit. And then Arya, okay, so for Ned, when he first came out and he told his homeboy, like, he gave him the cue to grab Arya, right? So, like, did Ned know he was going to die?
I felt like...
You know what I mean?
I don't think he knew. I think he knew there was a possibility, but he knew he was going to confess, and the agreement was that, you know, he would just have to take the black. You know, he'd have to go to Castle Black, and that'd be it. Part of the Night's Watch. I don't think he thought he was going to be killed, Joe. Like, nobody saw that shit coming. And again, I totally forgot about Cersi being surprised. And the look on her face was like you said, like, whoa, no, that's not what we agreed to. But this was that first time that Joffrey was really, really, really feeling himself in opposition to his mother. Like, shut up, Mom. Because he said, you know, my love wants her father to be saved. My mother said, but women are weak. Bring me his head.
Yeah.
Damn.
Women are weak in their feelings. That's some shit he said.
Yeah. Women are weak in their feelings. Bring me this dude's head. Oh, shit. Like, oh, that's not what we agreed to. And even after he said that, Baelish was smiling. Baelish was smiling from ear to ear. And I'm like, you are just the fucking worst, dude.
That's interesting. I didn't peep his face.
Oh, yeah, he was cheesing. It was just terrible. Yeah, this was the first super huge moment. This is the first time we got rocked to sleep by George R. R. Martin. And we just like, what am I watching? What am I watching now?
Well, I feel like it was the second, like 1.5 almost, because in the first episode when Bran got pushed out the window, I was like, oh, y'all mean business.
True.
So it's not the same as Ned being beheaded, but I know it definitely made me like, oh, I'm watching this, because anytime you push a little boy out the window, you kind of like don't have no cut cards. But I still didn't think that Ned was going to die.
Right.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Ned was too important to us. He couldn't. No, not at all, man.
And it's crazy because in the rewatch, he's so wrong, you know, about so much that it's like, damn, what were we championing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that it's built that way. Like, but damn, he was wrong about so much. So,
you know why?
We only know how wrong he was now, having more exposure to the world that he was in. Even when we were watching it in real time, we were like,
wrong too.
Right.
Right. We were all wrong. We were wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah. We're not used to this version of knights and dragons. We're used to honor being the way the movie ends, with honor and you know, and the good guys winning. We're not used to this. Like, George R. R. Martin really set us up, man. He really set us up. This shit, the red wedding, these are not things we're used to seeing happen. You're not supposed to push little kids out windows, ever. It's never, like, we've never seen this before. Someone pushed a kid out of a window with the intention of killing the child. You showed us that. That was drawn as shit. What is your problem? I'm going to watch the next episode. Like, I have to see what your problem is in the next episode. Give it to me now. So yeah, we were all naive. It's just, now we know though. Now
that
I can understand. They got no cut cards. Yeah, anything can fucking happen, B. Anything can happen. The Night King has a dragon. What? Anything can happen. There was all of our theories. They're going to blow a horn. The sea is frozen. They're going to walk around the wall. Scrap all of that. All of that. She loses we've watched these dragons from birth. She kills a dragon. What? Fuck. Like, yeah. Excellent show.
Yeah, there was one episode this season too where I was watching, and they were at the wall, and they showed you like a span up of how tall the wall was, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this wall and being like, nothing could ever fuck with this wall.
Yeah. I think it was last episode. They looked right up, and it was like, damn, this joint is tall. Yeah. And that kind of it reminded me of where the castle was on the wall. Like, I think at some point later on, we were like, is there part of it at the top of the wall, on the other side? Like, is there a midpoint? Like, where exactly is Castle Black on the wall? It seems like it's all the way at the bottom on the south side. That's as high up as they were looking.
This is when we need Castro.
Right. Which then again, that's where the confusion was in. Like, so when the wall is crumbling and you guys are at the top of the wall, how were you running down to the bottom of it? Like, how did you escape that? That wall is tall as shit. Like, it was, and I'm sure they adjusted the scale later on, a couple seasons later, to make it make sense. But yeah, that shit was just crazy. Well, cool. So that wraps up. How many episodes are in this season? We got one more episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one more.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if this is the one where Dany goes and does her thing.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it probably ends with that, right?
Mhm.
The flames, yeah. It would have to. It would have to. Because for her to take command, that had to happen. Yeah, she had to give him something to believe in. Other than that, you just a dead man's wife. You out of here.
Right.
Yeah. But this is also when we start finding out how he sets us up. Like, notoriously, episode 9, some crazy shit was popping off. The beginning of the ill shit. Thank you guys for listening. I don't have all the stuff that Castro says. I don't have his script. It's not written down. I don't know.
It's fine. We don't need that.
All the podcasty stuff he says. Okay.
just edit that in from like any other episode.
From our last episode. Okay.
Yeah, just throw it in.
Cool. That'll work.
Thanks for listening.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Game of Thrones.
Bye.
All right.
All right. Peace.